And now it's time to set off on your virtual journey here to the ancient city of Babylon in modern-day Iraq.
Hello, my name is Jeff Allen. I'm a program director at World Monuments Fund, and I'm here at Babylon in Iraq. And I am standing right now at something we nickname and call the Blue Gate. It is not Ishtar Gate, as some people often talk about, that's been poorly maintained. In fact, it is a replica of Ishtar Gate built in the 1950s. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is Babylon important? Well, Babylon's important for many reasons. And I'm about to introduce you to one of those reasons. This is my co-worker, Ishtar Basim.
My name is Ishtar Basim. I'm from Babylon, from the city.
So Ishtar is part of the Future of Babylon. This is called the Future of Babylon project. And why is Ishtar part of the Future of Babylon? Is that Babylon, as we know, is important for many reasons historically. And it has to do with laws, has to do with astronomy, mathematics, the organization of societies. And it's an amazing place for all that we know about how civilizations develop. Now, on another way, why it's really kind of super important today is for its economics and tourism, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the future of Babylon, we're really talking about the future of Iraqi people.
Yeah, of Iraqi people.
And especially the local people that live in and around this archaeological site.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that's important to understand about the Future of Babylon project is that World Monuments Fund needs to look at Babylon after we leave the site. So one of the things we do is we employ and we train people. Now, Ishtar here is a conservation technician on the project at Ishtar Gate, and he's been involved in the masonry. So, Ishtar, if it's okay with you, you and I are going to go through here, and we're going to take our people who are on the tour with us today to go visit Ishtar Gate. You ready?
Yes, okay.
Yalla bina. So now we've moved past the Blue Gate. As I mentioned, that is a replica of the original Ishtar Gate. And we're now in the courtyard of the Nebukadnezar Museum. And it's here that in the 1950s, tourism was first developed at Babylon with the use of the museum. There's an old map you see over here. Come on over here, Ishtar, with me. And the map talks about all the famous and historic places in Iraq. Now from here, we're going to go straight up ahead to the processional way, which was the original historic passage for ceremonies that led to Ishtar Gate. We've walked up on top of the processional way, right?
Yes.
And the processional way was the, I guess, kind of main street of historic Babylon. Remember, Babylon at one point was the world's largest city. So here you are in the main street of the big town of ancient Mesopotamia. And the street saw many famous figures go through here. Biblical figures such as Daniel and Alexander the Great. And we're following their footsteps to, up ahead, Ishtar Gate. Yalla bina?
Yalla bina.
We took a little rest area stop along the processional way, and we're presently at
South Palace.
The South Palace. This is built by Nebuchadnezzar II, and it's a very grand structure, and as you can see, it's been reconstructed. So during the 1980s, there was a big program to rehabilitate Babylon, to revive the city as part of a kind of national pride agenda. And one of those tasks was to completely reconstruct Nebuchadnezzar II's palace. At one point, Saddam Hussein, former ruler of Iraq, gets this idea that to place himself historically in importance, that he is going to create a kind of legend that he is the son of Nebuchadnezzar II. And as part of that story was to build his own palace here, which is up above on a hill behind here. And he builds that palace overlooking Nebuchadnezzar's palace because he was the son of Nebuchadnezzar II. So taking a cue from the Mesopotamian kings, Saddam used the bricks of Nebuchadnezzar II's palace reconstruction to announce that he, as the son of Nebuchadnezzar, was coming back to rebuild Babylon. And as you can see, it is here. Now, part of our challenges are there are a lot of reconstructions at Babylon that were done in irreversible ways that are very complicated for conservation and preservation purposes. So we're going to continue on up processional way to the Ishtar Gate. Welcome to the real Ishtar Gate. Now, previously we were standing in front of that big blue thing, and that is actually, as I mentioned, a replica built in the 1950s. Ishtar Gate is actually a series of gates. The ancient Babylonians would build a gate. Later on, when the water table is moving up, they build another gate on top of it, on top of it, on top of it, on top of it. And so really it's a series of gates. And they're maintaining, for the most part, the same kind of fortification footprint as they raise the gate. So when you look behind me, there's an animal relief right here. This is a Mushushu, which is a mythical figure connected to the gods. And actually, there are Mushushus going all the way down in the ground below us. Multiple numbers. Because as the gate is renovated, it is added, built up. Now, this creates a bit of a complication when it comes to conservation because we have a lot of moisture in the ground below me. And one of the major projects we've had here is to actually fix the masonry. Now, Haider here, as a conservation technician, is someone who's been leading with a group of people from the local villages that were trained by WMF to restore and conserve the masonry. So Haider, will you say a couple sentences about what you were doing with this Mushushu and other animal reliefs?
Okay. First, we clean the joint, and then we make mortar. We use the mixture to fill the joint.
At the same time, you're using a mud mortar, water inside the wall can get out, all right? So we're creating a situation where the joints are able to allow water to transmit out as well as to prevent it from going into the masonry core of Ishtar Gate.
And the mixture we can remove is very easy. Not same like cement.
That's a good point. So a lot of the work that was done in the 1980s was very heavy-handed here at Babylon. They used a lot of cement, basically. And cement by itself is not a bad thing, but if it's used in conjunction and adjacent with historic building materials that predate the modern age, it is a problem. So one of the projects has been to try to remove the concrete and cement where possible, because often it's not possible, and to replace it with more sympathetic building materials. Now, Haider, let's talk briefly about this problem we have here. So we have historic bricks, and then in the 1950s to 1980s, they replaced the bottom.
87, yeah. This is bricks. This is bricks. It save the moisture inside.
They're modern fired construction bricks. Here we have a case where modern construction bricks that are fired in a different way and handled and made a different way than these historic bricks, modern bricks, are side by side, and we have cement. Problem. So the next task we have for conservation is they're going to have to remove this, a kind of piece of surgery, so to speak, take away these modern bricks and rebuild the lower courses of the walls with new bricks and old bricks that have the same consistency and components of the historic masonry, right?
Yeah, historic masonry.
All right. Now, as a kind of grand finale of our tour today, we're actually going to come back in the evening and you're going to see some of our work we're doing at Ishtar Gate for better presentation of the site for visitors, which is a kind of, I think, fairly spectacular thing to see. So let's move towards Ishtar Gate, and by the time you see me next, you'll see me in the nighttime. Okay? Come along.
Future of Babylon project is created in 2008. In this project, World Monuments Fund collaborated with Iraqi State Board of Antiquities and Heritage to document Babylon, complete condition surveys, and develop conservation plans. As a result, Babylon was officially inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List on July 5th, 2019. World Monuments Fund is also implementing directly some priorities of the conservation and the site management plan, and the first one was Ishtar Gate. The project started in 2016 in conservation of historical monument and now working on renovation of the north retaining walls.
So an important thing to remember is that Iraq is a hot country in the summer. And if you're going to do this kind of work down in a hole 7 meters down below, you might as well do it in the evening. So the work crew here at Ishtar Gate starts at 5 p.m. and they work until 1 a.m. I'm standing next to the gabion walls, which are a replacement for the old concrete walls that were here. Concrete walls were impermeable, water was trapped behind them, moisture built up. This time we're using stone. We have two kinds of stone here. One is a river stone that we use for the structural elements of these gabion boxes behind me. Second, we use a decorative marble, a kind of slightly cream-colored marble, which has a 20-centimeter section to give it more of a decorative facing. This stone will wash off and clean better than this stone. And we want to lower the levels of biogrowth and other, say, tintings of the stone. And we want to use a smoother kind of stone that'll be more presentable of what we want to show. Now, because the old ones were straight, the curvature gives it more strength to hold back all the soil behind us. Remember I said 7 meters? We're trying to hold it back. So this is a new construction, and it's an important part of the project work World Monuments Fund is doing at the Future Babylon project. I want to thank everyone who spent a few minutes today, or tonight as it is, here at Babylon, to thank you for coming to the Ishtar Gate project and listening to us talk about what we're doing here with World Monuments Fund in partnership with the Iraq State Board of Antiquities and Heritage through funding provided by the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. So from all of us to you, thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you.